Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shreyashi and I'm a software engineer by profession and I like to make videos in skincare, travel, lifestyle and food. So for my podcast today, my second guest is going to be Chetna Joshi, who is a remarkably inspiring woman, and her journey through PCOD and the lifestyle changes that she's done are truly appreciated. She is a level 2 yoga instructor, trained in pre and postnatal yoga, as well as a certified nutritionist. Apart from being all that, she is also my amazing sister-in-law. From her early marriage to her evolution in a beautiful, empowered woman, she has transformed her life both physically and mentally. She's not just rewriting her own narrative, but she's also redefined what it means to balance work, home, lifestyle, and most importantly, motherhood. All this while having and maintaining an active lifestyle as well as a mindful diet. So please welcome Chetna Joshi today on our podcast. Welcome.
Thank you.
I have seen you since you got married. We are almost the same age.
Yes.
I'm elder to you.
Yes.
But I have seen you how you've evolved and transformed through the entire years that you've been married into this family. You've had my beautiful niece Nurvi. So I want to begin from the starting. Basically, we are going to discuss about physical and mental aspects of what you've been through.
Okay.
So let's just start with what is PCOD. You've suffered from it, you've been through that journey,
Yes.
You're still going through it there.
Yes.
It's been like
10
almost
years.
10 years, yes.
10 years plus.
It's been 10 years. So I just want to understand, first of all, what is PCOD? And there is a lot of myth around PCOD and PCOS. So I want to understand what is PCOD, what is PCOS, what you are going through.
Okay. So to start with the very basics, as we know that our ovaries are 2 bags full of eggs. We all girls have fixed number of eggs in it, and in every cycle, few follicles containing an egg are selected. In case of PCOD or PCOS, the follicle is not maturing enough to be able to release the egg into the uterus. So basically, the ovaries of a PCOD patients would be enlarged as they contain this polycystic. Poly means many and cystic means these fluid-filled immature follicles. So basically, the ovaries are not functioning properly. The hormones are imbalanced. So this condition with the ovaries, it is called as PCOD. And when this comes with the package of other symptoms like obesity, then facial hair, like we call it hirsutism,
Yes.
then irregular periods or missing periods, you are not having periods at all, or insulin resistance, then it would be called as PCOS.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the syndrome and this
This is the disease. Yes.
Got it. So what really leads to it?
So whatever I have learned and read throughout these years is that genetics do play a role in this. Even in my case, I remember my mother used to always tell me to not worry about these irregular periods because she too had irregular cycle before she had me, and it got regular after she had me. But when we compare, she obviously had a very active lifestyle. She maintained her weight throughout the years, and she was far away from all the fast foods what we have today.
Correct.
So in my case at least is the underlying cause, but my bad lifestyle choices, wrong lifestyle choices has multiplied the symptoms and created more problems. So genetics and lifestyle. Right.
So when you say even probably our mothers and their elder generations also have had PCOD, but it has come to light only because of the lifestyle choices that we are making now.
Yes.
It has been there, but now it's more prominent because of how many
Lifestyle.
girls are going through it. Okay. So what your journey has been like identifying, working on it?
So ever since I periods, like from 8th standard, my periods have always been irregular, heavy, and the bleeding used to be in clots. And I was very cranky and irritable around those days. And before like 10th standard, it was going on normally. I remember before my pre-board exams, I had my menses and my bleeding lasted for around 15-17 days. And that was the first time my mother took me to the gynecologist. She gave me the pills and it immediately stopped the bleeding. But it happened again after a few months, and then I was asked to take a sonography. In that sonogram, it was diagnosed that I had the condition of PCOD. The ovaries were enlarged, but other than that, I obviously had a lot of pimples on my face, but I never related my pimples with my hormonal imbalance. I never related because in my family, most of my buas and uncles had pimples, and I related more to it because my father owned a namkeen shop, have like namkeen quite frequently, so I related to it. So it didn't affected me that much, but the real, it started affecting me after I got married more.
Okay.
So I will tell you how it started. So I was scheduled to get married in May. And I was 21 years old, and all my female relatives have told me that your period should not fall during all the festivities and puja, because of obvious reasons. So they asked me to adjust your periods date. But how would I adjust? Because my periods were never regular. I never knew when my next cycle would be. So we went to the gynecologist beforehand. My mother took me in February. So what she did was she put me on this contraceptive pills.
Okay.
21 days pill. You need to take 21 days pill. Then 5 days later you'll get your periods. And then again on the 5th day, start your next cycle. So she put me on this for 3 months, and we adjusted all the dates of my marriage and festivities, and she told once you are done with everything, stop the pills. So for 3 months I took the pill, all the functions were done, I got my periods, and I stopped the pill. After that I didn't get my periods for 4-5 months. And then I went to the gynecologist. She first scolded me for not coming earlier. And then she told me that whether I was, planning to have a baby right now. And I obviously said no, because I was just 4-5 months into marriage. So she again suggested that first thing, try and lose your weight, because in these 4-5 months, I had gained around 5-6 kgs.
Okay.
Only in this 4-5 months. And she told me to take care of my diet, exercise, and if I was not planning the baby, then again 21 days contraceptive pill. So for 6 cycle, I remember the name. Multiplied by 6 cycles. So at last she wrote diet and exercise, obviously, but I had no idea how to do diet and exercise, and I didn't focus that much on that part.
And even like the kind of families that we belong
obviously,
to, we've never
we don't know anyone to look up to who goes to exercise.
Correct. Right. So, since a lot of girls are now being diagnosed with PCOD and PCOS, but sometimes I feel like a lot of people don't understand the intensity of that particular syndrome or whatever they're going through, and neither the doctors tell so much in detail.
Now they do, because the patients are multiplying. Because when I compare my journey with my sister-in-law's journey, who is also having, now the diagnosis, they in detail tell them properly that if you don't correct your weight now, it is going to create more problems. So now I think
so what do you think has led to this? Is it more awareness on social media, or is it more awareness via social media amongst people? Or
okay, so the awareness is there because the people who are having the PCOS is like they are like double, triple now, as compared to my time. I was like, today I will get a pop-up on my YouTube that new YouTube or new podcast on PCOD or PCOS. But earlier we don't use, like before 7-8 years, we were not using social media that much. And there was no such a. So the awareness point is that it is good, because I found all the right people through Instagram. I found my yoga teacher, my nutritionist from whom I took the class, from my prenatal, postnatal teacher. Even I totally forgot how periods work. So I took a workshop from an Instagram like story that know your periods.
Right.
Like what are periods and how they actually, because I totally forgot how I had, because we were taught in 9th standard.
Correct.
And now I don't
not even in detail.
No, and we forgot, and we didn't even care what was it.
Correct.
So it is necessary, but we are not supposed to get obsessed over that information and try everything which is provided.
Right.
So we have to know that what is for us. Every individual stories is different, and what is the reason? For me, it was my early marriage. Then I came here with incomplete education, and my this obsession to complete my education, plus my weight gain. I had gained 7-8 kgs. Like throughout the year, in first year anniversary, I was like 7-8 kg overweight. So what I did in those 7-8 months, was I blamed everything on that 3 months pill that I took. That my body has went into a habit now of these hormonal pills. Now if I blame the doctor that why she has to give me that pill.
Correct.
But what I did in that now I realize that all the bad lifestyle choices I made, that had created more problem.
Understood.
Because everyone, it is very common to take those progesterone and OCPs during marriage. They do adjust, but they get their periods.
Right.
Why was I not getting? Because I messed up with my weight and internal homeostasis of the body.
And even stress.
Stress is the main reason. Stress was the main reason.
Correct. So how it affected your day-to-day life?
So day-to-day life, so initially I resisted taking this pills, this OCPs, but later on I gave in and I started the pills. Now I will not pick that only those OCPs led to this, I was very cranky. A small issue at home, it would feel so big to me. I had anxiety. I used to have these sleep issues. Even in the, like after 7-8 months of marriage, all these problems started. So I will not blame only on that pill, because one of the side effect of the pill is mood swings and weight gain. Now I will not pinpoint that only, because I too had a very bad lifestyle. I was going out a lot with my husband because I was not liking the food which was prepared at home, because it was a major change from my hometown. Plus that was a very big transition, that I used to always be busy before I got married. It was either studies, classes, or my CA final articleship. And here I was like at home throughout the day. And I still remember I used to think after my husband slept at 11 o'clock that what I am going to do in the noon time the next day. It was so much, big transition for me to stay at home. That all this, inner fight with myself, that how do I survive here? That, and obviously my CA final, my obsession that I have to start my tuitions in November. Whatever happens, I am well, I am not well, I have to start, I have to give my attempt. So this obsession, that also
affected
behind her, right? It did affect it.
Okay. And you have a beautiful daughter.
Yes.
She is 6 years old
Yes.
now. How did it affect you? As in, what I'm trying to say is, it took some time for you to conceive her.
Right.
So, and you had PCOD. You tried multiple things.
Yes.
So, it did affect a lot, but how exactly? Like mentally and physically? both?
Right. So when I was 2.5-3 years into marriage, we used to go to a Ayurvedic doctor at my hometown place. So he convinced me that this is the right time to plan a baby, because one, I had the situation of this PCOD, so it might take time for me to conceive, and it is better to start now, because again age is another factor that affects fertility. But I was very young. Still he said that if we start now, in 2-3 years you'll conceive. Then we don't want, if you are planning to have another baby, then we don't want that age comes in between. So better start now. And I was obviously not doing well I flunked my 2 attempts of CA final. I was not doing well in relationship, and I thought, okay, let's change the path. So what I did was, I started, we'll start with the conceiving. So I and my husband decided. So we went to the doctor, and first she stopped that not to take it obviously for contraceptive. So first 2-3 cycles we tried, and she gave me the normal pills, and obviously I was not having my periods regular, so it didn't happen. So then she asked me to go through this follicular monitoring. Follicular monitoring is, they call you for sonography every alternate days from the 10th day of your cycle to study how your follicle is growing. And then they will, proceed with the medication. So first cycle, they realized that I was stuck in the follicular phase only. So the egg was not developing. And there were, on one ovary, there were many tiny cysts. So the next follicular monitoring, they started with the medication. So what they did was, now the follicle was not growing. So what they did from day 2 to day 6, they used to give me this tablets, which is to stimulate the hormones. The hormones will get released for the egg development or follicle development. So that, then day 3, 5, 7, they used to give me this, which is basically the follicle stimulating hormone, which is to develop the follicle. Then in the sonography, they saw that, okay, now the follicle was of adequate size. Then they injected me this, which is to release the egg from the follicle. So everything was done. Yes, everything was artificial. Now what we have to do, we have to only try for conceiving. That was the only job. Now first 2 cycle, that also didn't happen. So I didn't conceive for first 2 cycle. Now when I look back, I didn't conceive because I was in too much stress. And in the second follicle monitoring, when she saw my eggs, the growth of my follicle, my doctor told me, "क्या बेकार अंडे हैं तुम्हारे? Like what useless eggs you have?" And that broke me. And I still remember I was coming back home through the car, and I stopped in the middle of the road, because at that moment I felt I was not doing well in my exams, I was not doing well with my husband relationship wise, I was not adjusting at home, and this is the easiest thing. Like I thought that okay, I'll have the baby, and still that was not happening. So this stress, you need very homeostasis in your body to conceive. So that was not happening. So then in third or then in fourth cycle she said, okay, we'll try for IUI. So now the insemination is also artificial. So the next 2 cycles also failed. IUI. Now the second IUI failed, and then she told, okay, let's see now what is, everything is like ovulation is done with the help of hormones. Now insemination is also done. Now why the egg is not fertilizing? So she said, okay, let's take an HSG test, which is basically X-ray of internal organs, which was very painful, and an X-ray of internal organs like uterus and fallopian tubes. So everything was normal in that. Now in the last IUI, like fourth IUI, before the fourth IUI, I was asked to take the blood test, and in that test it was diagnosed that I had this TSH, my thyroid stimulating hormone, has elevated. So that was the reason. Now when I look back, I remember I was very happy knowing that my TSH has elevated. Now why I was happy? I found the reason why I was not conceiving.
Correct.
Not once it occurred to me that all the stress, what hormones I was injecting in my body, it had
Contributed
manifested another this metabolic disease of hypothyroid. So it was hard, and in fourth IUI I conceived.
So you had PCOD that affected your body mentally,
Right,
physically,
mentally.
and that led to thyroid.
Right, thyroid.
Okay.
So now I will not tell that led to thyroid, but all the stress
yes,
and
yes,
lifestyle.
yes.
Lifestyle.
Correct. So, I did plan to ask you another question, but you did realize that was kind of your eureka moment when you realized, okay, fine, this is what is not working. Like TSH is what
yes.
leading to you not being able to conceive a baby. And that was your eureka
Yes.
moment, and then you conceived, and then you had the beautiful newbie
Yes,
that you
yes,
have.
I have.
And then probably post that you started your journey of transforming, right?
Yes. After 1.5 year.
Yeah. What made you do that?
Okay, so I was having severe postpartum
Depression.
not depression, I will tell, not proper depression, but I was very anxious with my daughter. Like first and foremost, when I conceived, I prayed to God that I do not want a daughter, because of all these periods problem which I have went through. Plus, second, when I experienced the labor pain, I was very sure I don't want another daughter to go through all this. So I was very and then I had a daughter. Now, okay, I was like, okay, now what I had planned, that I am going to give a perfect lifestyle to her. So I researched and went to doctors. I even went to nutritionists to ask that how to start food from the 6 months and everything. But that doesn't happen as you plan in a joint family, because everyone have their point of view, and there was a lot of struggle in what I am telling and why I am telling. I was not able to express why I am doing the way, why I am choosing this lifestyle, why I am not feeding her while distracting. Or why I'm not offering her chocolates, and why I'm not letting her have whatever other people are giving. I was very angry and frustrated with my daughter, and I had to change now, because she was around 7-8 months, and now I decided, no, I can't be like this. I cannot be a miserable mother. And so I started taking care of my mental health, physical health. I started yoga classes, then I searched for something other options what I can have. Then lockdown happened, then things were more miserable for me. Then I said I should stop my studies for a while.
You said you got into yoga, you got into more holistic approach, Ayurveda, wellness. Were you in touch with yoga and Ayurveda before that, or it was just a beginning for you?
No, Ayurveda, as I said that we were in contact with Ayurvedic doctor since my teenage years.
Okay.
So I had and I used to find very beautiful about Ayurvedic doctor was that they always connected this mental health with physical health. Like they always tell कि tension लिया क्या ऐसे, like they used to always tell कि why, but here in like modern science, like it was not happening that way, and I knew that something was wrong mentally because I was overthinking, I was very anxious most of the time. Yoga was actually introduced to me by my father, who used to take me to the yoga teacher, you know, on and off during my 8th 9th standard, and then it was not that happening that much, but when I switched, like I don't want to pursue CA final now because I am not able to study or concentrate. Then I went for yoga teacher training because I was not getting the right teacher, right? They were practicing like what I was looking for, I was not getting. So I why not I become a teacher and I learn what it is.
You kind of wanted to bridge the gap.
Yes, what I am missing on.
Yeah, correct. You got into yoga, you got into a more holistic approach, lifestyle wellness. What were the small things that you started doing in your daily life that you still continue and that have really benefited?
So the basic thing is setting up a routine. So the dinacharya, what we call in Ayurveda or yoga, that I set up my routine that I am going to, you know, sleep at time, wake up at time, and my obviously daughter's routine also helped me do that because she goes to school now and everything. So that 1 hour of physical exercise, it might be yoga, strength training, or even walk. Or for my hobby, I also practice Bharatnatyam Saturday, Sunday. So I have to do that. I have to sleep on time and wake up on time. And I try and journal a lot and meditate. So these 2-3 things, you know, made major difference. And nutrition, balanced nutrition. Because when I started a little bit of strength training, I realized I was, you know, so lethargic and so sore after the workout, and I was not able to repair. Like 2-3, and I used to go to the class, and I was like, I am a yoga teacher and still I am not able to, you know, perform the next day, but all these people are able to do that. Then I realized that most of them were non-vegetarians. I was not having enough protein, so then I adjusted in my diet, and for a while I also, you know, added supplements to my diet, and I take care of like fat, carbs, protein and fiber ratio. I try to maintain that. Yes.
As much as we would like to believe that our Indian diet is completely balanced,
yes,
but like a vegetarian diet does lack
protein. But if you like mindfully, you know, include all the dairy products or dals or sprouted things, then you can. It is not that you cannot. You can, but then it has to be very mindful, like a weekly plan to include. And if you are into like starting strength training, then it is very important because it will not help you like repair and then again perform the next day.
Okay. So food, exercise, and having like a set routine, especially with sleep.
Yes.
In this day and age, a lot of people are not getting enough sleep.
Right.
You're not repairing your body, you're not rejuvenating. So these are the 3 pillars of like a perfect lifestyle that you want to achieve. Right. If you have all these 3 things in place, most of the things are like done, right? Specifically with food and PCOD, do you see any difference, or is it just that you need to be very mindful of what you're eating and you're sorted?
Yes, mindful, and like you need to you know, balance your plate. All the macronutrients you need to manage. Micronutrients will manage themselves. So macronutrients, you have to be very aware that you're not eating out a lot. And eating fast food, junk food, because for PCOD, what happens is this, it disturbs the fat ratio. So the sedentary lifestyle plus eating a lot of, you know, this oily junk food is going to increase the fat ratio in the body. It is going to disturb the estrogen levels in the body, and then it will again, you know, disturb the whole hormonal profile. So it is going to affect that way. The food, the most important factor is food, right? That is the fuel. We do not treat it as a fuel, but it is a fuel, right? So fat ratio, like we have to know what Indian proper diet should be. So you have to take care of that. That is not non-negotiable thing.
Have you had insecurities? Of course, like everybody has.
Yes.
But have you had insecurities, especially when you were going through?
But I didn't had insecurities related to my skin or weight anytime, because my family had pimples, all my family members had
You've seen
pimples,
that.
and I thought that everyone gain weight after marriage, because I saw everybody gaining weight, so I was like कि सबका ही होता है, it's okay. I was very insecure about my like incomplete education, and this is a real big trigger for me even today. When I see my friends pursuing and going like for big holidays on their own money, that I'm really like, I had cleared my IPCC, I have done articleship, my only 2 exams are left, and even I can do, and I can have a proper work life, like I do earn because of my yoga classes and everything, but I do want to earn more, right? Because and that was left halfway, and I had a dream about it, so only that
That's why you studied hard also.
because I studied hard and mental and caused more stress.
Correct. What is your message to all the younger girls around? Like girls in general, not just young.
Ladies, yes.
Women.
So I will, warn you that this can be the longest answer of the podcast, because I was very, when I see girls, even 2 of my sisters have PCOD, when my sister-in-law has PCOD, and I know what she's going through, and I want to scream to her that this happened to me, and I know I have come out of it, but obviously they won't listen. They all have their different journey, and they won't understand that when you get into that intensity, then it is the point that okay, no, I have to change now. So however I tell it will be, they will take their own time. So the first and foremost thing is eating, you have to be mindful what you eat, because it is going to create all the mess. If you're eating too much fast food and junk food, it is obviously going to increase the fat ratio, again estrogen and the hormonal profile will get disturbed. Second most important is the sleep. You cannot compromise your sleep. Even if you have exam next day, even you have to give presentation next day, and if you are doing it consistently, it is going to disrupt your melatonin in the body, again the hormonal profile get disturbed. Third, I think you have to learn cooking. You are a girl, you are a boy, even if you are very capable to have a maid at home, but still when the maid is not coming, it shouldn't be the option that you will order out, because once you know how to cook and how to clean afterward, many things get easier. You don't feel that okay, cooking is a burden. Now I feel very easy. My daughter will tell me I am very hungry, it will take me a minute to decide what I am going to make, and make it very efficiently now because of practice. If I were not cooking earlier, like I was dependent, if my daughter had asked me ki mujhe kuch khana hai, I would give her biscuits then. So this, when you know cooking, you know the science behind it, ki how I have cooked, how
what I
all the yes. So that important. The next, I will think that you have to learn how to manage your stress. You have to invest your time and money and everything to learn how to manage stress and what is working for you. And if at any point you realize that focusing, what we do is, young girls, they do not give physical and mental health as much importance as they give to their studies, academics, job, career, etc. So I think it should be at par, even if possible. Please give more importance to that, because if you be fit and do and try to achieve things, then it will be much more easier to achieve and sustain. Otherwise, it is going to be a big battle. And if any point, even today, you feel that you are lacking behind, or you are not doing physically, like health-wise, you are lacking somewhere. So please, it is totally okay. Even the right choice to step back, to take a break, and then focus on your health first. Invest your time, energy there, and then come back more stronger. I think I do plan to give my exam again once I think that okay, I am now. Yes, actually we are running. I don't know after what we are running. So that, and the most important thing I should not forget is please respect your femininity. I was the girl who used to be very grateful ki thank God I don't get my every month. Who is going to go through the burden? And because my family, they used to attach shame around menstrual cycle. We all face that, right? So that has to go, and we have to accept that we are different from boys. Either we want or not, that is our personal choice, but nature has created us to procreate, and we have to respect that, and we have to realize that this regular monthly attendance of our period is one of the sign that we are physically and mentally fit, and it is as important as your regular blood pressure or regular heartbeat.
Correct.
So once you realize that, and please know your periods. So knowing is half like conquering. So know your periods.
Okay, that would be it, and it was wonderful to have you on my podcast. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for spending so much of time sharing whatever you've been through, sharing your knowledge, and I hope we can do this again. So this is the end of our podcast. I will see you all very soon. Until then, please like, share and subscribe, and bye-bye.